know this is going to be more of a conversation, but I want to think about 3 or 4 minutes and read a letter that I wrote to Grace Boggs. And it's a letter that excites me, and if you bear with me, I will read you that letter. Dear Grace, over the years I have deeply cherished our friendship and your thoughts and ideas regarding the future and the changes needed to be made to get us there safely. I've always been amazed by your ability to spot and interpret future trends, both positive and negative, and your call to action. While many are doctrinaire in their outlook regarding such a change, you have been most flexible and visionary, and I appreciate the intellectual contributions you have made over the years. Grace, I want to talk to you about another success that I have experienced over the last 40 years at the University of Michigan. In 1992 or 72, I started teaching an interdisciplinary program called Environmental Advocacy, a program spun from the racial and environmental turmoil of the 1970s. Grace, I want to take a few moments to talk about the EJ history that is not well known. As the first Black faculty to be hired in the School of Natural Resources and Environment to develop and teach environmental advocacy, I, along with my colleague Jim Crowfoot, attracted some amazing students who went on to do some amazing things. Our students worked to mitigate the negative effects of strip mining in the coal fields of Illinois, organized farmers around food security issues in rural America, organized and worked at recycling stations, organized against the building of nuclear weapons in Rocky Flats, protesting against the building of an incinerator in the Puerto Rican community in Mount Holyoke, fought utility outbreaks in the state of Georgia or Oregon, helped to organize conferences to educate the community on the negative impacts of lead poisoning, and organized the 1976 conference held at the Walter and May Luther Family Education Center entitled Working for Environmental and Economic Justice in John. Over the years, our students and graduates have worked tirelessly in communities and in a variety of organizations across the country and world. Over the years, I have seen this obscure environmental advocacy program morph into what is presently known as the Environmental Justice Program. Each generation of students is eager to do their part in the planet. We are so different in our teaching style and mission that no one expected us to survive, but we did, and we are very strong for doing that. Grace, I would like to share with you another success, one that I never dreamed of happening in the school. We have just hired Dr. Marie Lynn Miranda from Duke University to be the next dean of the School of Natural Resources and Environment. One of the unique things about her, in addition to her scholarly achievement, is that she's a woman of color, the first woman of color to be dean of the school's history. What's equally exciting is that she is familiar with environmental justice work, and she herself has done scholarly work in the field of environmental justice. She will be a big support to the program and give additional national and international visibility. How are we doing? Right now, I'm only a year and a half late from the university, therefore will not officially retire until December of 2012, marking 40 years of scholarly work and teaching. I want to take this retirement opportunity to raise funds for students and scholarships. We could easily double our student population if we had more financial resources. This means we would have more students and graduates who work with community groups. Grace, I'd like to say to you because you and your late husband James have been an inspiration to me and my students. You have held the family social change and loss with joy for over half a century. The job well done, and will be in your debt for years to come. Yours is a struggle for environmental justice. Bunyan, Bryant, author, have gone out with us. I think much of this environmental justice movement got started. And back during the late 70s, most of our national leaders had been shot or died by the late 1970s. Martin Luther King was assassinated in 1968. Malcolm X was assassinated in 1965. Philip Randolph died in 1979. Whitney Young died of a heart attack in 1971 in Nigeria. George Wiley died in an accidental drowning in 1973. Fred Hampton in 1969 was also assassinated. So it seems to me at the time the civil rights movement was faltering because a lot of national leaders were not with us any longer. And so the question is, then what do we do? And so I think that what happened was that when Governor Hunt, the governor of North Carolina, decided to bury some soil laced with PCBs in a landfill in Warren County, which was predominantly African American, that got a woman by the name of Dolly Burwell upset. Dolly Burwell was of the United Church of Christ, and she organized to resist the dumping of the soil laced with PCBs in that landfill. Now, why is this important? It's important from my perspective. Now, they did not win the struggle. The soil was dumped into the landfill, but there was a lot of resistance. In fact, the demonstration resembled the demonstration of the civil rights movement. It was at that time that, during that struggle, the people in Warren County, North Carolina, basically took an environmental health frame and combined it with a civil rights frame. And that later became known as the environmental justice frame. Okay. And so what they did in Warren County, North Carolina, was a spark that ignited the environmental justice movement. So that's important to understand. Now, it used to be that in the civil rights movement or the environmental justice movement, I knew everybody. But that quickly changed. I mean, there was a conference in 1990 coming off of the 1987 United Church of Christ report that had national significance. That conference, along with the conference the next year, 1991, the first People of Color Environmental Leadership Summit, really put environmental justice on the radar screen for government. And so about 5 years ago, the South Korean told me that the environmental justice movement was the third largest environmental movement in South Korea. I knew that they'd come of age. Now, I knew we were coming of age too because I was sitting down one night to look at TV, and on Practice, remember that program, TV program called Practice? They're environmental justice episodes. My wife called me and she says, "Bunny, come and see what's happening here in General Hospital. General Hospital, an environmental justice episode." So I knew that kind of rage. And at the same time, we had Shentech, which is a movie, environmental justice. If you look at the environmental justice literature, there was an exponential increase in environmental justice articles around the late 1990s, early 2000s. So I think we've come of age. And like I said, I used to know everybody in the environmental justice movement, but that's no longer the case. It's gone international. And it's in many, many different countries around the world. I think I'll hold it right there.
How are we doing on time? we were going to allow.
Extra copies of this rehearsing the future at the table over there, and I hope folks will read it and think about it, and think about the role that Bunyan has played in organizing, in visionary organizing.
What we would like to do is allow a few opportunities for questions. And I also want to mention Grace's latest book, The Next American Revolution, Sustainable Activism for the 21st Century.
It's for sale.
And it is for sale over here. There are copies over here. It is a great book. So, are you ready to answer a couple questions? Okay. Please, projector, we need probably a mic.
Here's a mic.
Oh, great. There's a mic in the center if you have questions.
This is a question. This is a dedication to both Grace and Dr. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me round, turn me round, turn me round. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me round. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, I'm marching up to freedom's land. We love you.
It's about a democracy.
Yeah, she cried. As a matter of fact, you made her cry. We made her cry.
My name is Omega Wilson with the West End Revitalization Association from Mebane, North Carolina. I am a member of the North Carolina Environmental Justice Network that includes members and a third generation, second generation from Warren County. And I'm bringing you love and greetings from North Carolina as one of the persons that helped plan the accountability and Title VI track for this conference. I previously served as a NEJAC, or National Environmental Justice Advisory Council member. And we want to let you know that we're working very hard at this conference, myself and other people here, to make what you say needs to be done real. We thank you for being here and keeping the vision physically alive, spiritually alive, and keeping all of us accountable. And we are encouraging your faith to stay with us, to lift us up, and keep us going. Thank you very much.
I believe it was the action in Warren County, North Carolina, that sparked the first people of color environmental summit.
Yes, Bunyan just mentioned how critical that movement was.
Grace and Bunyan, on behalf of the thousands of grassroots organizations, Latinos, African Americans, Native Americans, and Asian Pacific Islanders in this country, we're here again today to compliment you all for the tremendous, tremendous work that you've done in behalf of all of us. Not doing it for us, but doing it with us. And we're here to reaffirm our commitment today to both of you and to our many sisters and brothers throughout this country and throughout the world, our contribution for environmental and economic justice. We compliment you on your work. We look forward to continuing to work together, and we reaffirm and dedicate ourselves to not only the environmental justice movement, but the environmental and economic justice movement today. And thank you very much for your contribution.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, before we leave here, I'd like to talk about including the young folks in the environmental justice movement.
Yes.
Okay. Now, Martin Luther